So we're going to get off in blogging, and to do that you're going to need to go to Google and make sure your Google account is open. And you'll know that it's open if it says your name here next to the plus sign. And what we want to do is open Blogger, and to do that you click on the squares, click More, and then you go to where it says Blogger, and the symbol for Blogger is kind of a funky looking bee inside of an orange square, so we're going to click that. So this will be your dashboard, and since you don't have any blogs set up yet, this is what you'll see. There are two specific areas that we're going to look at. This button right here prompts you to create a new blog, and that's what we're going to be exploring today. And then you can also create a reading list, which is kind of a neat feature. And what you can do is you can subscribe to blogs or add blogs that you like to your reading lists. So to do that, you just click Add, and you could cut and paste the URLs from some of the blogs that we looked at as examples into your reading log. You can just cut and paste the URLs, and then you click Add here, and then click Follow, and you'll be able to follow any blogs that you really like reading. And so what they will do is they will automatically come into your news feed and be added to your reading list as they are made public. The other thing I wanted to show you before we get started with creating our blog is just a couple of settings notes. Here you can actually change the language of your blog, so if you're a foreign language teacher and maybe you're communicating to your students in Spanish and you want to change the language, you can do that simply by clicking here. And by clicking on this little cogwheel, you can explore or change some of the settings of your blog. So you can edit your user settings here. You can get help, the help centers here. You can send them feedback, and you can also connect to Google Plus here. So now we're going to create our blog. To do that, we just click on New Blog, and you need to decide on a title for your blog. I'm going to call mine Secrets for Super Teachers. And then you pick your address. And I'm going to do Secrets for Super Teachers and see if that's available. And it is available. Many times you want your blog title to be reflected also in the address, just so it makes it easier for students and others to remember. So it's good to have it be the same, the title and the address. Now you're going to pick a template for your blog. Now I recommend here just clicking Simple. There are a bunch of other templates that we'll explore later, but I often find that Simple is the best way to go, just because it's a very basic template. It doesn't have any pictures in the background, or it doesn't kind of have any bells and whistles to it. You can always add those later. So I'm going to click Simple, and then I'm going to click Create Blog. So our blog has been set up. Now the next thing we want to do is click View Blog. You automatically want to click this little pencil to start writing, but we're not ready to create a new post yet. What we're going to be doing today is just setting up the template of our blog, and we're going to do a very basic template. You can do more template development from beyond what I show you today if you'd like, but essentially when you create a post, you will click this pencil. We're not going to be doing that today right yet. We're going to instead view our blog. And as you can see, there are no posts yet, and it's a very basic template. It's the simple template that we chose. So what we want to do is we want to click Design. After you click Design, it will lead you to this template page, and what you want to click is Customize. So we're going to customize our simple template. So at this point, what you can do is just take a few moments to click through and take a look at some of the templates. Right now I'm on Simple Template, and you can kind of just play around and see which template you'd like to choose, like I'm doing here. You can also click on some other templates. There are ones called Dynamic Views. Picture window. Awesome Incorporated. Watermark. Ethereal. And Travel. So I'm going to go back to Simple, and I'm just going to select this bluish one. Then I'm going to click Apply to Blog. And it's telling me that my template's been applied. Now you can take a look at this little area off to the side, this menu, and this is going to allow you to choose your colors, change the widths of your blog, make layout changes, and do some advanced design changes that might make your blog look more beautiful. So I am going to change my background. Again, I was on Templates. Now I'm clicking on Background, and I'm going to choose the purplish one, then click Apply to Blog, and it's telling me that it was applied. If I click on Adjust Widths, this will adjust the widths of my entire blog. I can show you. It's just making it wider, and then I could also either increase or decrease my right sidebar. It's just personal preference, and it depends on how much is going to be featured in your blog and what you have to say. Next, we're going to move on to Layout. If you click Layout, you'll be able to choose the layout of your blog. The first one is just a very basic body layout, and when you click it, you'll be able to see what your blog is going to look like in terms of layout. I'm actually going to select this one. This is the one I prefer, where you have your title bar, you have some gadgets, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes, and then you have your blog posts, your archives are off to the side here, and then any about me's or other information are off to this side. Now I'm going to click Apply to Blog. Next, I'm going to move on to Advanced. This is the feature that I use the most in Blogger when I'm working on my template design. It may take you a little bit of playing around to familiarize yourself with these particular feature buttons, but I'm going to walk you through and just kind of guide you and show you what each one does right now. Page text is any text that is on the page that is not your title and that is not a gadget. So what you're able to do is you're able to select a font for your page text, and there are quite a few. Many are cool, so you're not just limited to basic fonts. I really do believe that font is everything in terms of blogging, and picking a cool font can really help make your blog look more professional or more appealing to the viewer. What you want to keep in mind when you're selecting a font for your posts and for your page text is that you want to pick something that's easily readable. and you don't want to pick something too funky. You can save that for your title. You want to make sure that your blog can actually be read. So sticking with the basics is always a good idea. Something that's very easy to read, even Times New Roman or Arial or something that is a basic font that can be read very easily. So I chose Coming Soon, and I'm going to choose the text size, and I chose 14, and that's just for the text inside on my blog page, and I'm going to apply that to my blog. The next thing I can do is I can actually choose the text color for my page text, and I'm actually going to keep mine black, but they give you suggested colors, and then also colors from the template that you chose. And then if you click this little button up here, you can select more colors for your text. Next we go to backgrounds, and this area is a way for you to change the background of your template. And outer background is going to change the outer background of your blog. And I'll just show you, I'm going to click around and show you some examples. And I think I want red for my outer background. The main background is the background for your entire post page or post area. And you can see as I click here, it will change. And I'm actually going to stick with white for that one. Your header background will change the color of your header, and I'll show you how it does that. And I'm going to actually keep my header background white. Again, if you click here, you can see the whole rainbow of colors. And then every so often you want to click Apply to Blog so that it saves it for you. The Links tab seems more complicated than it is. It's actually, if there are any links in your blog, it's asking you to specify what color you'd like them to be. So you can choose a color over here. See, it just changed that link post atom to red. You can change the visited color, and then you could also change the hover color. So if you'd like your link to change color when you hover over it, you can do that here. Next we go to blog title, and this is where you can really add a little something to the look of your blog. If you take advantage of some of the interesting fonts they have here and change your color, you can really work with the design of your blog. So I'm going to just show you some of the examples here. And select one for myself. That's fine for now. And then you can change your title color. Again, they give you suggestions, colors from this template, and then suggested colors, and then you can just go off on your own and select your own color if you'd like. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to choose dark blue. And I'm going to apply it to my blog. Just a quick note too. If you take a look at this link right here, it says clear advanced changes to blog title. At any moment, whether it be on this specific tab that I clicked on links, on backgrounds, I'm going to go back to blog title, I can clear the changes to blog title. So it will go back to the original template version of what was there before. So that can clear any changes that you've made to the blog title. So I'm going to actually go back and choose another. There we go. And apply it to my blog. Okay, next we move on to blog description. And what the blog description is actually, it's just a 1 or 2 line phrase explaining what your blog is, and it actually, see this little dotted red line, it'll go right above that dotted red line, and I will show you how to do that in a few minutes. But you can actually choose your description color, and I'm going to choose blue for mine and apply that to blogs, so that when I actually write my description, it will come in under here, under my title, and it will be in blue. The next two options are tabs text, where you can go in and change your font and text color for your tabs text, and also tabs background. So you can change the background color of your tabs and also the selected color of your tabs. And these are going to come into play when you actually make a blog post. Moving on, our post title. So when you make a blog post, the title of that is going to be in whatever font you chose. And I'm actually going to pick the same color font that I chose for my page text. And I think that that was here. Coming soon. Date header is your actual date when you make a blog post, the header that includes the date. You can change the text color on that. You cannot change the font right here. I'm just going to make mine black, and the background color behind it, I'm going to keep white. Post footer. If you have a footer at the bottom of your post, you can change the text color, the background color, and the shadow color here. Gadgets are very important, and when we move on to the next tutorial, we're going to talk a little bit about the bells and whistles of Blogger. But gadgets are all those little things that you can add to your blog page, like About Me. You can have people subscribe to your blog via email by using a gadget. You can input pictures by using gadgets, and we're going to explore some of those gadgets in a few moments. But you can change the font of your gadget, and here's an example of a gadget right here. It's the About Me. Simply by clicking, I'm going to keep mine Coming Soon just to be consistent, and you can see that it changed that. The title color, I think I'll change it to red, and then an alternate color. I'm going to choose blue and apply that to my blog. And the alternate color will just be an alternate. As you add gadgets, it'll alternate between the title and the alternate color. Okay, images. If you add any images to your blog, what you can do is not add them here, but you're going to choose some of the template designs for your images. So you can choose a background color if you want a background color behind your image, a border color for your image, and a caption text color image for any captions that you're going to add to your images. So background color, I'm just going to choose blue, border color red, and caption color I'm going to keep black. Next we have accents. And the accents just kind of spruce up the template of your blog. And you can change the separator line color. I'll show you how to do this. You can see the page change as I do it. I just made them red. I'll show you. I'll make them black, green. Okay, so those are the separators. They separate your post from your gadgets. Go back to blue, and then your tabs border color. Your tabs will be located up here, so if you have tabs like Home, About Me, or links, or if you create any tabs for your blog, they're going to be up here. And the tabs border color is just creating a border between your actual page and your board and your tabs. And we can change those by clicking here, you can see it changing. I'm going to go back to red. I like that. Now, if you ever navigate away from this page, for instance, if you want to click View Your Blog, this will allow you to look right at your blog. I'm going to leave that page. And you want to know how to get back to the spot where you can customize your template or change the layout of your template for your blog. What you can do is click on Template, Customize, Advanced, and that will always get you back to the spot where you can kind of play around with some of the design features of Blogger. And I'm just going to go up to see if there's anything that I missed that's important. Mobile button color, if you want to add a mobile button to your blog, this just allows you to change the color. And if you want to add CSS, which I'm not really sure if any of you want to do that, you just click here to add that. And when you add custom CSS, what you can do is you can actually enter the code to change or override the existing design styles of Blogger, and you can change and add things of your own, like certain fonts or certain design features that you might not find right on Blogger here. So it's a feature if you know how to do that. If you want to see what your blog looks like at any time, you can always go back up to View Blog. And this will create a new tab at the top. And to get out of that, you can either go back to Design, so you can click on Design. And it will get you back to that page again. Or you can simply just click off the tab and it will lead you right back to the Advanced Settings Template Designer. So right now we are still in Advanced Template Designer, and we're dealing with some of the advanced features of our design for our blog. Let me just point out that once you create your blog template, every time you make a post, you don't have to do this all over again. The template takes a little bit more time in the beginning, but once you arrive at your design for your template, you don't have to change it unless you really want to going forward. The only thing that's really going to change is your posts. So I'm going to actually show you right now, before I sign off for this particular video, I'm going to show you how to add a blog description. To do that, what you want to do is go back to Blogger. You're going to click on Layout, and clicking on Layout will actually allow you to play around with some of the gadgets and bells and whistles of your blog. Right now we're going to just add the blog description. So to do that, what I want to do is click on the title bar. Actually, I click Edit. It's going to tell me that my blog title is Secrets for Super Teachers, and here's where I enter my blog description. And I'm going to add my description and just say a course for teachers Now, you can also add an image here. To do that, you can add an image either from your computer or from the web. You can paste the image URL right here. So all you need to do is essentially just go to Google Images, click on the image, and then go up into the cut and paste the URL or copy. And paste it here. Now, that will add an image from the internet. You can either put it behind the title in the description, you can do it put it instead of a title and description, which I don't recommend because then your title will be completely gone. or you can have the description placed after the image, and you can shrink to fit the image. So if you want to add an image to your header, to your title area, just play around with this for a little bit, and you should be able to do it fairly easily. I'm just going to show you right now. I'm going to add one from my computer. Just go to Pictures. I'm just going to look for an image here. How about a little trophy image? And I'm going to put it after the image. So that means the title description will be placed after my image. And then I'm going to save. I'm going to go to Save Arrangement, and then I can preview it. Okay, so what that did was it completely erased my title. So I'm going to go back to Edit. Here's my image, and I'm actually going to put it behind the title and description and see how that looks. Now, depending on the image and what you're using, it might work, it might not work, but let's try it out. Okay, so I'm going to save my arrangement, and I'm going to preview it. And there it is. So here's my title, my image behind it, and my course description, my title description. So that is going to wrap up this particular video in designing a blog template or an outline for your blog. The next video is going to specialize in adding some bells and whistles. So actually making a blog post, taking Word documents and putting them into your blog, adding pictures, photographs and things like that into your actual blog posts, and we'll be back.